Greetings to you all, and I do welcome you to this broadcast. As you join, please indicate to me whether you are hearing me clearly and you also see me clearly. It's been a very long and exhausting day. I got in maybe about an hour or so ago, or less, but I find it necessary for me to report to you about the events that would have transpired today. As the broadcast indicates, thank you so much. As the broadcast title indicates, there's a manhunt in Lyndon. And I just want you to understand that it seems as if the knowledge of an adult male, probably in his 50s, who would have, based on the report, pinned a little 7 or 8-year-old girl to the fence of a school while her little cousin was trying to prevent him from taking her away because that's another development. The child was of the view that the man was trying to take her away from that little track. And that is even more alarming. We have completed 24 hours ever since this incident would have occurred. Multiple opportunities presented themselves for this fellow to be apprehended. I want to give you a very clear and unbiased report about my day. And I must also say the most heartfelt thank you to those parents and members of the community who went out this morning for over 4 hours looking for this individual, Kenneth Lorimer, I think that's the name, or Chase or something that they call him. But Kenny, who's a nuisance, please, if you can, share this broadcast with others so that they can know that we're here. This individual, this man, who yesterday, according to reports, went to the Tukude Primary School outside of the school, approached a little girl, pinned her to the fence, sought to kiss her and nibble her ear, tried to take her away. That's a new development I'm hearing. This man is still free to roam our community. In going into the village, searching for him, villages in what is called the mines area, there are reports, multiple reports. Residents have just about everyone we speak to remind me about this individual being the one who chopped his father to death or was accused of doing the same. This individual, the reports that he goes to his relative's home and he goes around to schools and Tukude Primary School, I think would have been. He does it in the area he lives, would expose his penis to children, to little girls. He's a sexual predator. This man is still free. Kenny, concerned residents of Lyndon went for about half of a mile, just about or so, but 700 plus meters in, not kilometers, in the dense bush, forested area. You can see he cuts trees, he makes coal pits, and we found his campsite. We also need to join quickly because there's a lot to unpack here. Where he dwells in the bush, when he would have done it, he didn't ran to the bush. We found it. I would like to report to you that the individuals who were in the trail, we were there, those who were in front, saw this predator. He made his way, ran into the bush. The police were alerted. But before I get to all of that, let me just present to you. Let me just tell you about what, and if you can present it, share the broadcast with Pre-Manchan and others and Clifton Hicken, Robeson Ben. Because while you're all so focused on Mohammed and taking license back and all kinds of foolishness, maybe we could have used Mohammed's security to find him today. Who knows? I know they would have found him much faster than many people. Or send Sheriff Security to Lyndon, they'll find him. Since you don't know how to deal with it and who are the real criminals in this country. This morning, I was at the school from 6:30, appealing to parents to keep your children home because there's a sexual predator on the loose. More so one who the community has reported who would have chopped his father to pieces, chopped somebody's ear, I think, off. A report was, you heard this morning, he hit somebody in the head split the person's head open because he asked the person going to report to the man to have sexual relationship with him, and the fellow refused. I reported today to the school at 6:30. As fate would have it, a child was in that school, a little girl dropped off by parents and gone, the child alone with a security officer. At 6:30 a.m., there was a child, a little girl, not older than 10 years old, alone in the school. What is even more alarming to me is the fact that just about every parent and many teachers who came to the school this morning said that they were made aware of this situation from the broadcast that I did yesterday. Not that the school informed the parents, not that the head teacher reached out to inform us as parents that there is a situation. They were made aware, even some social workers were made aware of this situation through my broadcast, not through the school reaching out to communicate. The school has a head teacher, a deputy head teacher. And instead of reaching out to say to us that there was a report, even if it's just a report of a sexual predator who sought to abduct, to kidnap a child, sexually molest a child, the police has it as a sexual assault report of a minor. Sexual assault of a minor is different from just sexual assault. This man did all of this according to an eyewitness report, and the fellow is still free. So we had an intention, we announced our intention, we're going to go to look for him. I received the call that the police were going to accompany us. It was heartwarming. It was so encouraging because we had persons who were military trained and so on who were there, said it's great to have the police with us because, of course, they have more authority than us to apprehend and to do many more things if it's warranted. So we said, okay, but 10 of us said, perfect. We got into our vehicles, and I'm so thankful that the ladies were there. They were unafraid. The ladies headed into the bush with us, into the mines, because we had to find this man. We went there, found, because I did environmental sciences, and I used to go through all those areas, and I was taught certain things about survival. So we found the trail. We found the footprint, and that's all we needed to find. And we made our way through the trail. The police were nowhere to be found. We were calling and calling. The police were nowhere to be found. Guess why? Because Edgel was in Lyndon. Can you believe that? Can you imagine that Edgel's presence in Lyndon apparently means a lot more? Well, that's the impression I got, by the way. I could be wrong, but the focus was on ensuring the traffic would have been smooth and persons had to ensure that Edgel got the necessary attention because apparently a sexual predator being on the loose is not as important as Edgel being free to travel wherever he's around Lyndon. So we got there. No police was there. We risked our lives, going deep into the jungle. Men, women, and the ones in front came face to face with this man. If the police were with us, they would have had the perfect opportunity because he was coming through the bush with weight on his back, head down, and came face to face. They didn't see us initially. So the plan would have been to get to a place where there's a little opening because the bush is his territory to apprehend this fella. He managed to return, came back when we went back for him, and then ran through the bush. And that was it because he created many, many, many tracks. This guy knows about survival. He's not mad. The network of tracks he has to escape, mad people don't do that. There are multiple. When he ran through one, he could get far away. They interconnected apparently, but there's so many traps and stumbling things in your path. And we were way down in a very densely forested area that he would have cleared us a little portion of it. But you have to really know somebody's at the back there to find him. He's so smart that there's a section where you can walk, you see footprints, and then it disappears. You have to know, be a bush person and have certain training to understand what's happening here. So the tracks in the road with the sand is, you can see that. But then once you get into the bush, prints are gone because he knows how to walk off the trail so he wouldn't leave footprints. But we found his camp and no police was present. Not even one, because Edgel is priority apparently. We were told that the team was being assembled to come into the area. I advised that we should leave. Others agreed that we would leave because we found the person, we disappeared after a while, we had to leave. They were informed yet again, listen, we know the location now, we know exactly where he is. Persons in the community kept complaining that this man is a nuisance. This man would throw his penis at little girls. This man, there's a report that he grabbed the nurse by the neck from behind, and a lady ran out and grabbed him, but he escaped and ran away. He's a master of this apparently. He always has, they said, a very sharp cutlass and a knife. This is the second day. If you have a drone, please, exactly. And you can come with us. Please bring your drones so that we can scour this area. But it makes no sense doing so if the police are not going to be present. The police came at the fourth or fifth call. That's after Jim may have been in studio somewhere, so on, they're able to come. Shalom, Apostle Josh. Shalom, my brother. The police, and I don't want to stress on them today because, as I said, I just view things for what they are. Since they're persons who receive instructions, and instructions come from Ben, Clifton Hicken, well, Barjag, we could call anybody and give them instructions apparently in this country. But when the ministers come for this big day, all efforts have to be made to ensure that Edgel is fine. This man, this predator, we saw him this morning. If the police were with us, he would have been apprehended since this morning. The children, parents are reporting that the children who were close to that scene said they don't want to be at school. They don't want to go back to school. They're afraid. Can you imagine Basically, report this man is trying to take one of your little children away. Can you imagine what we're dealing with here? And parents came to school because the head teacher never made this an alarming situation. It was normal. And I always tell y'all that for me, nothing is personal. She can take it personal if she wants to. I am saying to you as a parent that there is no way, Premanik Chand, that this should happen in any part of Guyana, and the parents are not informed. I'm here to ask you a very serious question. If this were Bharat's daughter, because remember when Modi came, Bharat presented his daughter to Modi, right? Because Modi is not a Brahmin, he's not a priest, but he's one step lower. They're the rulers. Can you imagine if this were Bharat's daughter who Modi touched? Do you think that that yesterday have gone by without that man being shot and killed? I'm saying publicly, being on a live Facebook with monitor what I say. Huh? If this were Bharat's daughter or Priya's daughter, do you not believe that this man would have been unalived, as they say, by now? Not even arrested. There would have been a specific order to eliminate him. I could tell you all that. Why must parents know about this situation, sexual assault, from me, another head teacher? So the PTA, the Parent Teachers Association, we are not considered a relevant authority. Huh? Are we not? They're our children. Let me just post this comment here. I understand the police went out with the minister, but then again, we need to know if the matter was reported to the police. So the police is only going to, yes, the matter was reported to the police. The matter was reported to the police. The matter was reported to the police. The police involved the relevant authorities. May I inform y'all? Because I'm very tired. I have had a very long day. I walked for miles. I went back twice after this morning, and we get to that. The police were reported to. There was none around the school's premises today because apparently in Ghana, the police are supposed to search a child's bag for guns, knives, drugs, scissors, and other weapons. But they shouldn't come when there's a sexual predator on the loose. They shouldn't be around the school to ensure that that perimeter is secure, that they traverse the mines road and so on to ensure that this guy's nowhere coming around to be in any way able to harm a child. No. But if it were Bharat's Jagdeo's daughter, since you say you have two of them, you present them to Modi. Because nobody in Ghana could touch your child apparently until Modi came here to for you to show them off to him. Look, my lord, here are my little children. Or Priya's child, I don't know if anyone has a daughter, but any one of them, especially Bharat's daughter, oh, they would have been riddling, I'm telling you that, him to pieces. You would have found him in the trunk of some police vehicle, the tray, and they said, well, he attempted to attack an officer and that was it. But I went with other parents. No water. We didn't even think about survival materials. We went with nothing. but are tools, and stayed there, and the police never showed up. So we left. I interacted with officials from the Department of Education before we walked away from the school. When I spoke with them, I said to them that I have a problem with the principal, the head teacher, not informing me of this situation, not informing the PTA of the situation. I said it to officials from the education department because I meant what I've said, that this is happening too often, where things are occurring at this school and the PTA are not being informed. I have an issue with that. The executives are not being informed, or the parents across the board are not informed. And I'm saying it again to you, Prem Manikchan. I'm not playing with this because a teacher could have been killed. This man is known to always have a weapon, and he used it before. As sexual predators on the loose. And I said to them that I am even further aggrieved by the fact that parents had to find out about this from my broadcast. Imagine that. Teachers had to find out, some of them, from my broadcast. I don't know all of it. Some of them said that they got the information from there. This afternoon, while I came back, got a call. Remember how many times I told you that we were waiting, trying to get the officers to come and so on. But Edger was in town. My fellow Guyanese, I received a phone call from a very, very concerned resident because today that man went to her shop, picked up a bag of coals, charcoal, because he bad like that. He didn't pay for it. He picked up a big bag of coals and just walked out the people's shop because the woman said she told him, can he put the bag down? Leave my coat. He's bad like that. He could just carry it away. And the woman called me. I reached out to the police force, as they called, to say, okay, he's cited now. He's out because I know he had to come out. He's out in the village. Mariah, Elizabeth. We know where he is. People are seeing him walking on the road. Young men began to get in the motorcycles and stuff like that. And of course, the police aren't there. I was stuck at the bridge. That's not the story. Because I keep telling you this emergency. You're dead. I had to wait for about 10, how many minutes or 15 minutes, just sit there waiting all the time while this is unfolding in the mines. People were over here waiting for me for us to get be shuttled as quickly as possible to the mining area because my truck would take too long for us to getting there and help to apprehend this fellow. There, I had to sit at the bridge, Edgel, and wait. He went today and stole from somebody's shop, armed and dangerous. When he saw, this is a madman now, when he saw the young man on the motorcycle, he dropped the bag of coals and ran. Now, I want to know, how is it that this mad person has so much sense to sense that people are looking for him and what he should do? How is he so mad he could create these perfect trails to escape? How is he so crazy that he knows how to lie low in a bush and you can't find him? I got with my brother, got with two brothers, and my son, because he needs to see his father in action. He's his father, not a wimp. And we headed to the mines, only to find the person hiding, or find that the person's hiding because of how long it took for the officers to get there. Now, I thought the officers had been assigned to that community for the day, and they'd be told to patrol or just wait, and when he's sighted, pounce on him. No, they had to leave because Edgel is here. Then you go up there and you try to see what you could do. The man was gone. So 3 times today, this man was sighted and escaped. This madman, knows how to escape and tuck himself away in bushes, and you can't find him. But he's mad. We find out who's mad. We find out who's mad because parents of Otukade Primary School, the principal did not make the situation as alarming and urgent and serious as it should be. That's what happened. The female teachers in the school, if he could chop his father to death, why do you think he's going to hold you all and tell you, hello, good morning, miss, how are you doing? All is well? The teachers in the mines of Kamaka Primary, Kamaka Nursery School, the little children who walk in the bush. The Nottinghamshire Road is a lonely road. They walk from Nottinghamshire over a mile to get to the primary school. A long, lonely road, sparsely populated. And this man is free. Tomorrow will be 24, 48 hours. 3 times I went into that area. I had 2 teams of workers who should be working. I left work all day. And I'm a contractor, you know it to be. Left work all day. I'm not a police officer. I left my job all day to try to find a sexual predator. While teachers were being told it's normal school. Imagine that it's school as per norm. It's normal. There's no problem here. So let children come to school because we're teaching. There's no issue. There's no danger. There's no threat. Dwight John was with Edgil. The regional executive officer was with Edgil because he saw no need to call the security company and say, assign 2 other officers. The head teacher had the nerve to come to tell me of course, that's why she had to accompany the people from education department. And I talk about you because he deserves to be spoken about publicly. She saw me at the gate this morning. I drove past, never came across because she didn't have a need to talk to me. But once education, the primary officials came there, the education officers, she could find a way because she had to follow them to where I was. And I want you, Nicola McLean, or Magby, whatever your name is, at the Redo, Priya Manik Chand. I want Saddam Hussein and all the others to know what I'm doing with him, Lyndon. As the chairman of the PTA, this person saw no need to come to speak to me, this head teacher. But when education showed up, this is the nicest person in the world. Let's not talk about what she said to me privately. That's a different story, but she's the nicest person in the world here because she has to accompany her superiors. And when they came, she had the nerve to tell us, that there's 3 security officers at night and there's one in this. So I said, does that make sense to you? Because I don't want any friends in Matukudi Primary School right now or anywhere in Guyana. I'm not looking for friendship. I said, does it make sense to you to have 3 at night and 1 in the day when you have nobody there at night? But 758 or so people there in the day. But then a parent reminded me of a PTA meeting we had, and I want Priya to hear what I said clearly about the security, whatever it is happening to Johnny and y'all. The parent said, we have a problem with security because I've been saying it forever, and the parents have said the same thing. We need more security personnel here. The one security to the gate in the hut wouldn't be able to help anybody. You know what they told her? I was there when it was said. You know what the response was in the PTA meeting? That the security officers are there to protect the buildings, not the people. Their job is to secure the buildings. So your grade 1 child, your grade 2 child, your grade 3, 4, 5, 6 child, the teachers, the security is not there to protect the people. The security is there to protect the buildings, to secure the buildings. So at night they send 3 security officers. And in the day they send only 1. Because they're to protect the property, not the children. Priya Manik Chand, I wonder if this is what we're supposed to deal with. Bharat Jagdeo, is that your policy? Because Irfan has no policy. Irfan has nothing called a policy. And I'm not going to even make this about Irfan Ali here. Is that what you're told by John Barrett? That security officers to protect buildings or property and not people? So if a man goes there to rape a child, the security must not apprehend that person. Am I to think that that's what the security company is about here? Well, I was in the meeting. When I heard that, I am telling you all, I am telling you why I behave the way I do. Because I'll protect the children then and the teachers. We, the men, we'll protect them. No, don't worry about that. You, security company, you protect the buildings. We'll do what it takes to protect our people. I am telling you live that if the security can't protect our children, we will. No problem. We'll form the necessary groups to do what we have to get done to protect our children. This is the dark reality that we face within Lyndon. If it were your daughter, Bara Jagdeo, what would you have done? We see all of the media today reporting that your child was sexually molested. We see all the media houses. You bring them all out from every woodwork. Even NCN would have been at the school to say that your daughter was molested. Oh, the police, the army, the SWAT, special weapons and training. Oh, they would have been in the scene and they would have had him like a strainer, like a fish net. And he would have been in the back of some truck being taken to some morgue or dumped somewhere in a morgue. I can promise every Guyanese that that's what would have happened today. Yes, it is a matter of fact. By 1 o'clock, he would have been lucky to still be breathing. He would not have made it through the night. Even the army helicopter would have sent here. And sheriff helicopters would have come here too. All of y'all would have come because it's Barrett's child. But to her, it's a little black girl. Not such a big deal. Because she's an unknown. Well, she's known to me. And you see all this, I want to say things publicly. If there's vigilante justice and I were to deal with this man, the same police who couldn't show up for a certain time would have me in handcuffs to arrest me. I know Guyana well. I know Guyana well. If I or any other person were to deal with this man, we'd be arrested. When we're given the police multiple opportunities to come and do your job. But how many resources do they have to do it? Who has, because the police force has people who provide instructions. Agile is coming tomorrow. There needs to be a certain number of police personnel. So the commander will have to follow specific and precise instructions. So here I move on to the regional officials now and town officials. Sharma, there are and others. Let me make this clear to you all. If I were in your position, it'd be very simple. You'll come about and which road is bad and what the contractor is going to do to fix the road. I have a problem solved a long time. Some of you too scared to have the solution, but I wouldn't go there tonight. That's not my focus. However, if Agile were coming today, along with the contractor to talk about the highway, it's simple. When they show up and let me stand publicly say, listen, a child was sexually molested yesterday by a man who's known for killing his father, a man who's known for being a sexual predator. And as a result of that, we are going to the school to join the parents to find this man. Agile would have joined you all immediately. You know why? Because Agile wouldn't want you all to go and find somebody showing that you care more about the people than him. But you sat in a room or wherever you sat with because Agile had to be entertained. This child and what Kamaka is facing, the PPP stronghold Kamaka, what Three Friends are facing, what people in Old England are facing, it's irrelevant. Nottinghamshire, it's irrelevant. Don't go to the school. You should join us. Tell Ejil, I'm not talking to you until this man is found. Let's go out there and find the man. Since you come to London, bring the police with us. That's what I would have done. Because we pay Ejil. Ezra doesn't pay me. So we would make him go, since he would never let y'all go ahead of him and find anybody. That would have been a power move where you tell him the child or the children of Lyndon are more important to us than you at this time. So we'll talk to you when we get through this, but we have a mission to execute today. We have a mission to be on. Oh, that would have been the most powerful move at this time because you're showing Edgel and others that y'all are going to ensure that we deal with our people first. That's a power move. But no, we I left the mines. Maybe minutes to 8 or minutes to 7. You can hear that my voice is tired because this man is walking freely. This man called Kenny is in our community. This man I found along with others, his camp, the exact location when I this afternoon the police were there. They finally showed up. They went to the campsite or they went to the track. So they know exactly where the track is to find him because we went ahead of them and we did the work. What else should we do? What else are we supposed to do as parents? Should we let our children go to school tomorrow, not knowing where he show up tonight because he has to walk at night? Where he's going to be? If you don't know people of this man's mentality, hold a grudge. And since he's being so inconvenienced, he could be so angry that he waits in the bushes tonight in front of Tukude school. That's the kind of person dealing with. If he is of unsound mind, he needs to be off of the street. Because when I got into the mines today, here's a report that his nephew is now following the uncle with a cutlass and a knife. So they're threatening people. But I can promise everyone before I leave that if that man were to chop a child or abduct a child and rape and kill that child, the whole battalion, not battalion Ramson, it's called battalion, would be out there on a manhunt. Parents of a Tukade school, you could choose to make this simple and say, well, it's not a big deal. And if ever, I always warn you, if you make your child believe that danger is not an issue, you're setting your child up for harm. You must make your child in your house know that it's an alarming situation because a rapist potentially is out there. A man who has murdered is out there. A man who is dangerous is out there. A man who's armed is out there. And therefore, I'm keeping you away until he's found. That's what safety does. The education department has issued no statement as far as I'm aware. Maybe I'm too tired to see them to say there's a problem here. All schools in Lyndon are shut down until the police and the army find him. I bet you they'll find him tomorrow. But we don't have people who have power to do these things. They're afraid of who? This man can harm anybody at any time. And once you see this talk about mental health comes up, you know what it is? Well, he's mad. So the police can't do anything to him. It's a psychiatric situation. Well, I'm mad then. I have a mental paper. I am mad. Since he has a mental health issue, I have a mental issue too. So we don't have a problem. All of us mad. If he is mad and he can be free to do things, then I'm mad too. Let's see who will have the freedom to say, well, oh, you have a psychiatric problem, so no problem. Just leave him alone. How could this predator be in the community and we don't find him? Who else would he have to do the worst or worse to before you find him? Parents, those of you who were convinced by the administrators, whoever the school, that it's not a big problem, or the region, it's not a problem, do not listen. I could be as sensitive as you want me to be in it. If the worst were to happen tomorrow, don't call my phone. I mean this with all my heart. If you're not a part of the who went to find this boy and you were convinced that your child is supposed to be at school because your child would die if they don't attend school, don't call my phone. And I mean that with all of my heart and with every breath that I take. I don't represent irresponsible people. So you followed HM and whoever else it is and make this a normal situation. And whatever happens to you, do not call my phone. I am doing, along with other parents, as much as we can. So I'm a madman. That's it, brother. I'm a madman too. All of us have mental issues. I have a mental health problem. So if he has a mental health problem, he could be so strategic and he can make trails and tracks and stuff that if you run him in one area, he has, when we got to the coal pit, he has some coal pits he set up. You couldn't find him. Four trails around one coal pit. So you couldn't find this man. When we got to the camp, there's another trail away from the camp. 1, 2, 3 trails. He's mad and he knows to create such strategic escape routes. Well, I'm mad. I have a mental health problem. No problem. Remember when the one from PPP's, I think her niece was found with cocaine, what happened? Oh, she had to have psychiatric evaluation. So she has a mental problem. So that's why she took cocaine out of Guyana. Well, I have a mental problem. I have a psychiatric issue. I'm a mad man. I'm crazy. I got mental problems. Tomorrow, the search, I know, in the area will continue because he wreaked havoc only today in the community. He went to somebody's shop and took whatever he wanted and walked away with it. That's what you're dealing with. And that, mind you, is not the worst part of it. Because if he feels pressured as he is now, he will act. Let's see what will happen tomorrow. Edgel won't be here tomorrow. So let's see what happens. With that, I bid you good night and shalom to those who are saints. I have to get some rest because I'm exhausted. But the work continues tomorrow. The work continues tomorrow. I identify as a mental health patient. Since you could identify as cat, dog, lizard, bi, cis, trans, multi-trans, multifaceted, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, I identify as a madman. Until he's found, I identify as a mental health patient. I identify as a nutcase. I have a psychiatric problem and I'm mentally unstable. That's my identity until he's found. Do well.